Namaste, good evening, and welcome one and all to this special event. My name is Rakesh, and I, along with my friends Abhishek, Samresh, and Santoshji, will be moderating this program. Today, on this special occasion of Kargil Vijay Diwas, we are here to show our gratitude to brave soldiers who fought the Kargil War. Kargil Vijay Diwas is celebrated every 26 July in India to observe India's victory over Pakistan in the Kargil War for ousting Pakistani forces from their occupied positions on the mountain tops of northern Kargil district of Ladakh in 1999. 527 soldiers laid down their lives for this victory. So as this is celebrated across India, hence it was an opportunity for we from Ramky One Kosmos societies to invite to pass on this message to our neighboring societies to come and join and get benefit of this program. This evening we'll have a speech from our eminent guest who will share his war experience and sacrifices made by our soldiers. So without further delay, let's get started. Thank you once again for being here. Right. Okay, I'm pleased to invite Sri Bal Reddy ji and ROCOA President Sri Devendra Singh Gaur ji to come on the dais. Okay. Okay, now after this, we'll start the event with Bharat Mata Puja. Also, this day is celebrated as a birth anniversary of Lokman Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Chandrasekhar Azad. So, I would request here the respected guest on the dais to light the diya and offer floral tribute to Bharat Mata, Lokman Tilak and Chandrasekhar Azad. I would now request everyone to please stand up for Vande Mataram song to be sung by Reshma ji. Dhanwad Resmaji for singing this wonderful patriotic song. I'm pretty sure that everyone in the audience must have felt the mood by this song. Thank you very much. By the way, Reshma ji is Shikshika of Bal Gokulam. Bal Gokulam is especially crafted for physical and mental development of children. And she stays in Aparna cyber commune, right? And she takes care of Bal Gokulam program here in neighboring society. So it would be an opportunity, Reshma ji, that we can start sometime the same program here in our society. Thank you. Okay, now I'll move with the parchay of our guest on the dais, right? I'll start with parchay of Devendra ji, who is a ROKWA president in our society. The association president. ROKWA is nothing but Ramky One Kosmos Welfare Association. So he's the president of this term, and he hails from Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, and is working with Intel Technologies. I would request now Devendra ji to introduce our chief guest.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. It is my honor to introduce respected Shri Bal Reddy ji. Wing Commander Bal Reddy ji is a native of Hyderabad. He joined National Defense Academy in 1992 and got commissioned in Indian Air Force in 1995. Piloted MiGs Mirage 2000 aircraft. Participated in Kargil War with his squadron Golden Arrows flying the MiG-21. Retired as a wing commander and currently working for an airlines. He lives with his mother, wife, daughter and son in Hyderabad. He is also the General Secretary of Samvit Kendra. Thank you, Bal Reddy ji. It's our honor to us with your presence here.
Thank you, Devendra ji. Thank you, Bal Reddy ji, for being here, right? Now we are moving towards the most awaited part of this event, that is listening to Bal Reddy ji and feel the experience as he describes. He's a war veteran of Kargil, and as Devendra ji said that he also were flying MiG, I believe so, right? That's what is that. Maybe you will explain more on that thing. Okay, one thing is that as we are here to listen him, so if you have a question, example, if you cannot hold, please ask. But it is good that we give him time to talk about, and if you can hold your questions till the last, it is good, because we have around 10 to 15 minutes of time for interaction after listening to Bal Reddy ji. So that's my request. However, I leave it on Bal Reddy ji how to start with on that, right? Bal Reddy ji, now you can start with that.
Namaste. Good evening, respected elders, brothers and sisters, and all my bubbly friends here in the front row and some in between here and there. I see lovely smiling faces here. So I'll pitch this to suit maybe 25% of the kids here. I think 25% of the audience is kids, so I'll pitch it to them. So the adults will have to pardon me if some of it is very repetitive, boring, because you have not only lived through the war, but you have heard so much about it. But the kids wouldn't have been born, as I see most of their age, 1999. Any of the children here are born before 1999? Raise your hands. So yeah, all the kids are born after 1999. And how many adults are born after 1999? How many adults are born after 1999 year? Not many. So we have a clear divide. All the adults have been living during the war in some part of the country, and we have the children who were born after the war, all of them. So nice. So I'll try to pitch it to the children to explain them the background and why did this war happen. I'll keep it as short as possible. As soon as I heard Ramky One Kosmos, I liked the name. There was Ram also, there was Cosmos also. So I really liked the name of this community, Ram and Cosmos, both at an individual level and at a cosmic level. So you guys are lucky to own a community that is called Ramky One Kosmos. So for the benefit of the children, I'll tell them the story of Kargil in about 20 minutes. It will be very short, so you can give me a full attention. And we'll keep it a little interactive. If anyone is not understood anything, they can raise their hand, because I don't want to all the elders know what has happened in Kargil. Okay, so first I'll give you a little bit of geography. Geography means the lay of the land, our country. Okay, how many? I'm sure some of you would have drawn the map of India. Map of India. Some of you know, you've seen the map of India. So in the north, that is on the top of India, is what we know as Jammu and Kashmir. All of you know Jammu and Kashmir. How many of you have been there? Raise your hands. Okay, good numbers. Adults, I'm sure good, but children, I see about 5, 6 of them. So I'm sure sometime soon, maybe in some years to come, your parents will definitely plan a visit. Now it is very, very safe as compared to what it was when I was in the Air Force earlier. So Kashmir, whether you want to visit Jammu or the Kashmir Valley or the Ladakh. So some changes have happened, but Jammu and Kashmir, which is right on the top in the map, okay, we are talking about that land, children. Understand? That land is what we are talking about. And in that, there are 3 parts in that land. One is called Kashmir, the Kashmir Valley that we hear about, Kashmir Valley. What is a valley? Valley is a land. Super, lowland between mountains. We had, you have to turn towards me. Turn towards me. Meri taraf gum jao. Yeah. So, lowland between mountains is valley. So, Kashmir Valley is that part. Then we have some land before we enter the Kashmir Valley, that is called the Jammu area. And then there is another place called Ladakh. Kids know Ladakh. So, what is Ladakh? Ladakh is it's a cold desert. Can a desert be cold? Yes, like Siberia. So, Ladakh is a cold desert. Very good. So, some of you might be listening to it first time. Don't worry, because even I heard it sometime first time only. So, unless you pay attention what I am saying, you will be able to then go back and read more and understand. Okay. So, Ladakh is a cold desert. So, how is it different in a cold desert as compared to a very cold. Nothing grows in cold deserts also, but there will be just probably mountains, rocks and snow. And maybe some frozen little plants, herbs, shrubs, yes, but nothing big grows in cold deserts. Okay, so that is the lay, how the land looks if you visit there. Some of you have gone, some of you have not gone. Some of you might have been just busy looking at the snow, but not understood how is this land called Ladakh. Why am I talking about Ladakh now? Because Kargil is part of Ladakh. Okay, there are only 2 districts in whole of Ladakh as on date. One is Kargil, the other is Leh. Leh is the place where people would have landed to visit Ladakh, because normally people land in Leh or they travel by road through Rohtang or through Srinagar. Depends on what journey you've taken. If anyone who has traveled to Ladakh, they would have typically landed in Leh by air. So Leh is the airport, a high altitude airport, which is the capital of today's what we call Ladakh. And Leh is itself a district also. But the important district for today's conversation is Kargil. Kargil is the second district. So it is by second district also, the large district also in Ladakh. Incidentally, after some changes in the in drawing Indian map, which we will discuss later, but that part, the whole of Gilgit-Baltistan, which has been occupied by Pakistan, Aksai Chin, which has been occupied by China, okay, all the children must understand that the map, Jammu and Kashmir, what we draw is ours, but parts of it have been occupied by our neighbors. And they don't pay rent to us. Okay, so they've occupied, they're living in our land. Someday, I'm sure we will get it back. By the time you people grow up, we'll get that land back. Like a lot of good things are happening in this country. So now coming to Pakistan occupied Kashmir and Aksai Chin, all that form part of what is called Ladakh. Okay, Ladakh today. And Kargil is that district, okay, which is like the land in between Srinagar Valley and a very important battlefield in India. The highest battlefield in the world called, anyone knows the highest battlefield in the world? What is it called? Anyone? Siachen. We have, so kids wouldn't have heard, no problem. Siachen is the name of the place. Okay, so Siachen is the place which is the highest battlefield in the world. It's in excess of, I think, 17, 18,000, probably touching 20,000 feet and more, up to 25,000 feet. It is part of the Karakoram range and the Saltoro Glacier, that is the region. It is sandwiched right on the top between Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, India's Ladakh, and Aksai Chin, which is occupied by China. Okay, so right there. So that part is connected from Srinagar via Kargil. So Kargil is coming in between these two places. Somewhere in this area is where Siachen is. This part is Aksai Chin. This whole part is Gilgit-Baltistan. This is now we've got these divisions happen, which is Jammu and Kashmir, and this whole thing has become Ladakh. But this part of Kashmir is with Pakistan. This part of Kashmir is with, or Ladakh is with China. So this is where Kargil is. This is where is Siachen Glacier, and where our soldiers are positioned right now. While we are talking, there are people in very low temperatures living below minus 40 degrees centigrade. तो हमें तो अभी भी ठंड लग रही है, तो वो तो बहुत ठंड में काम करते हैं उधर. अगर आप जाएंगे श्रीनगर, जम्मू और लेह. Okay, anybody is not understood anything till now? Questions we'll keep it later. But if you not understood anything, understood what is Kashmir, what is Ladakh, Kargil. Kargil is coming in between both Srinagar and Siachen. Why did I talk about Siachen? Because Siachen, I told you, is a battlefield. That is the highest battlefield, which India has control of that place in Kashmir. Pakistan did not like it. Pakistan wanted to cut off Siachen and its supplies to Indian armed forces. So what have they done? They decided to spoil the route or the journey from Srinagar to Siachen area. And Kargil was there in between. So what did they do? Every year, I'll give a background. Every year, what do you do when you go on vacation with your parents? To your house, what do? You will lock it. You lock your house, lock the door, and then mama keeps the key. In most cases, some cases, papa keeps the key safely, and you go on vacation. And then when vacation is over, you come back, you open your door, and you get inside, no? So what happens on the border between India and Pakistan, there are high mountains between 15,000 feet. Just for idea, Hyderabad is at 2,000 feet from sea level. Hyderabad is at 2,000 feet from sea level. Srinagar is at 5,000 feet from sea level, Srinagar. And Kargil probably 7,000-8,000 feet from sea level. The mountains in Kargil, Tiger Hill, Tololing, and these places are in excess of 4 to 5 kilometers, translates to about above 15,000 feet from sea level. So the border, which is the line of actual control, which is along the ridges of those areas, almost about 200 kilometers in Kargil, between India and Pakistan. India and Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Okay, that area is a very high altitude area. So what happens in winters, somewhere in probably October, November, both the soldiers on both the sides, it's an unwritten rule. Both decide and they both come down from the mountains so that they can live better, they can survive, they can come down. And after the winters are over, they go back again and stand guard. It is like your security guards who are standing at the gate in the daytime. At night, they'll go and sit in the chair, no? Because they can't stand at the gate all day long. So exactly like that, they go and sit in the chair. Like that in winters, the soldiers just come down from the mountains a little bit, not completely, a little bit. And they stay down. And after the winters are over, they go back again to occupy the same post. Everybody knows that is Pakistan post, this is India's post. There's no confusion. Like when you come back from vacation, do you go and open someone else's apartment? You open your own apartment, right? With your key. So exactly the same way. Indian soldiers again go back to occupy their posts only. But what happened in 1998? December is a very bad plan somebody had cooked up, and he was none other than Musharraf. Musharraf was the army chief in Pakistan. And what did he do? He said, ये politicians तो अपना काम करते रहते हैं, ये शांति शांति करते रहेंगे, हम अपना काम करते हैं. तो what did Parvez Musharraf do? He told his soldiers, Indian soldiers जैसे उतर जाते हैं आप भी उतर जाओ, दोनों सबको लगेगा कि सारे उतर गए हैं, बट फिर आप वापस चढ़ जाना. हाँ, सर्दी पूरा शुरू होने से पहले फिर चढ़ जाना ऊपर और वहीं रह जाना, सामान हम पूरा सप्लाई करते रहेंगे, उतरना नहीं वहाँ से करके परवेज़ मुशर्रफ ने अपने सोल्जर्स को बताया है. कितने सोल्जर थे? 5000 कुछ सोल्जर थे, 5000 कुछ सोल्जर. वो पूरा 200 किलोमीटर के एक्सटेंशन ऑन द लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल दे ऑक्यूपाइड इंडियन पोस्ट. नाउ what is the advantage of doing that? They will move on this side of the ridge. It is like आप अपने टावर में एक तरफ देख रहे हो, मतलब you're looking inside the community. You're looking inside the community. What if you occupy the flat opposite to your apartment? Then you can see on the other side of the community also, na? So exactly like that, these people have crossed over the actual line of control into India, and they're able to see the road from Srinagar all the way towards Siachen as much as they can. And that is enough to cause problem for us. How do they cause problem then? They can use artillery guns and they can help distant fire from behind to go accurately to those points and disturb our routes, disturb our logistics and cut off Siachen. When they are able to do that, then what will happen for them? परवेज़ मुशर्रफ ने बोला है वो सियाचिन भारत इंडियंस ने ले लिया है. सियाचिन लिया हमारा ही है, बट हम आके उसके ऊपर बैठ गए थे. तो हमें वहाँ से हटाने के लिए पहले हमारा सप्लाई सब बंद करना पड़ेगा. अगर आप लोग जब घर में रह रहे हो, आप लोग घर में रह रहे हो, आपको घर से बाहर निकालने के लिए हम किसी को अंदर नहीं आने देंगे. आपका खाना सुपरमार्केट से सब स्विगी सब बंद कर देंगे. तो आप लोग क्या करोगे? घर से ज़्यादा देर नहीं रुक पाओगे ना, घर से बाहर आना ही पड़ेगा. क्यों खाना नहीं आ रहा, क्या हो रहा है, मम्मी पापा नहीं है, ऐसे होता है ना. तो ऐसे ही हुआ था उधर भी. So what did they do? They supplied their soldiers and they did not let our soldiers come back after the winters, because it was a plan. It is like your neighbor. What does he do? Your neighbor, you have left the house, you have given the key to them, you've gone on vacation. When you come back, your neighbor's family is living in your house also, and they are saying ये तो हमारा घर है और निकलने के लिए तैयार नहीं है. यहाँ ऐसे नहीं होगा, यहाँ सारे अच्छे नेबर्स है, लेकिन वहाँ ऐसे प्रॉब्लम है पाकिस्तान के साथ. तो वो लोग आके हमारे जगह बैठे थे. फिर उनको निकालने के लिए बहुत मेहनत करना पड़ा. इतना मेहनत करना पड़ा कि 500 से ऊपर जवान शहीद हो गए. वाई? बिकॉज when somebody is sitting on the top, आप देखेंगे फर्स्ट फ्लोर में आपका कोई दोस्त है, फर्स्ट फ्लोर में यहाँ पर, और आप नीचे हैं उसको बुला रहे हो, ओके वो आपके ऊपर पत्थर भी फेंक सकता है, फूल भी फेंक सकता है, कुछ भी फेंक सकता है. आप उसको नहीं फेंक पाओगे इतने अच्छी तरह, उसको लगेगा भी नहीं. और वही सोचो अगर वो सेकंड फ्लोर में है या थर्ड फ्लोर में है, तो वो आपके साथ फेंकने का काम कर सकता है, लेकिन आप नहीं कर पाओगे नीचे से. तो नाउ उस जगह में जहाँ पर हमारे पोस्ट थे इंडिया के, पाकिस्तानी सोल्जर्स बैठे हुए हैं और हमारा है, सबको मालूम है, पूरा दुनिया को मालूम है. पाकिस्तान बोल रहा है वो जो लोग बैठे हैं वो हमारे नहीं हैं, ऐसे पाकिस्तान बोल रहा है, और युद्ध चिढ़ गया है. द वॉर हैड टू स्टार्ट बिकॉज वी हैव टू टेक बैक आवर लैंड. हम तो पाकिस्तान के अंदर नहीं जा रहे थे, हम हमारा ही पोस्ट वापस लेना चाह रहे थे. तो उस वजह से कारगिल वॉर हुआ. और वॉर में लाइक आई सेड 527, I think someone covered in the beginning, 527 soldiers got martyred. Amongst them, there are some pilots also. So I will not get into the details of the war, but this is the, the big picture or the mota of the war. And in the question and answers, then we can take on anything that comes depending upon, what you people want to know, if I am able to answer. Okay, so that kids have mostly understood the importance of Kargil. So Kargil is the name of a place. Kargil is the name of a district also, and in the district, the capital is also called Kargil only in that place. There are a lot of districts in India where the capital of the district and the district are have the same name. तो कारगिल जगह का भी नाम है, कारगिल डिस्ट्रिक्ट का भी नाम है, और कारगिल ऐसे जगह में है वेरी स्ट्रैटेजिकली लोकेटेड, बहुत अच्छी जगह है. जैसा सम ऑफ योर अपार्टमेंट्स आर, व्हेन यू लुक अराउंड यू कैन सी एवरीथिंग इन योर कम्युनिटी. सम ऑफ द अपार्टमेंट्स आर लाइक दैट. सो ऐसा है लोकेशन उसका, वेरी स्ट्रैटेजिक, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लोकेशन कारगिल, बिकॉज ऑफ विच पाकिस्तानीज made a dirty plan, but they failed miserably because they lost, though they were on the top, they lost equal number or more soldiers. Unfortunately, for an adventure, Musharraf had unfolded. And later, you know, Musharraf also became their head of state, and then he was removed also. Later he lost elections and he died also. I think maybe this year beginning or last year beginning sometime he passed away. But the interesting thing out of Kargil, what we have learned is India never attacks anybody. India does not attack anybody. You will think, अरे वो हमारे soldiers तो उनको मारे थे तो अटैक किया होगा, लेकिन वो लोग हमारे जगह में थे, हमारे घर में थे, इसलिए उनको हमें अटैक करना पड़ा. हम दूसरे के घर जाके किसी को अटैक नहीं करते हैं, आज तक ऐसा हुआ ही नहीं है इंडिया. बट हमारे नेबर्स कुछ ऐसे हैं, क्या करें, वी हैव टू लिव विथ आवर नेबर्स. हु आर आवर बिग नेबर्स हु आर कॉजिंग प्रॉब्लम टू अस चिल्ड्रन? China. So China is also doing the same to us, but I am sure that we will have become strong. All of you study well, all of you study well, all of you become strong physically. Just पढ़ने से नहीं होगा ना, पढ़ने से क्या है, कोई भी आके आपको मार देगा, तो आपको ताकतवर भी बनना है. कैसे? खाना पीना करना है, खेलना है, कूदना है, ठीक है, सबको. तभी हम एक ताकतवर देश बनेंगे और चाइना और पाकिस्तान हमारा कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ पाएगा, जैसा कारगिल में भी हुआ था. बट इट्स अ सैड थिंग दैट वी लॉस्ट आवर सोल्जर्स एंड वी रिमेंबर देम every year at this time in July, because the war started in May, ended in July. It almost took 2 months to complete the war and take over our land back from the Pakistanis. And Pakistan, which was denying, this is for the adults, Pakistan, which was denying that they were not involved in the war officially, it took them 7-8 years to acknowledge their own martyrs. They were, all the Paki soldiers, officers who died in the war remained unhonored. They were never, acknowledged. And later it came out that yes, so many Pakistani soldiers, officers, as India had claimed, have been honored by them, because how long will they deny their own population, and how long will they lie to their nation? Where have their children gone? Where have their soldiers gone? They cannot disappear nowhere. So Pakistan has done such mischief in the past. Every 15-20 years they will do some mischief. But now I think they will not do that kind of mischief anymore, because they have become very weak. But then we cannot take it easy, because we have another neighbor similar like China, who is very powerful. So we have to become very strong ourselves at every level. I am sure there are a lot of challenges everywhere. So India also, as a family will be able to take care of the problem. But all of you should grow up to become something for the country. Wherever, you don't have to go to the border. Wherever you are, you should serve the nation. Okay? And then India will be able to take on any problem in the future. So that much, I think I'll leave it to the Q&A. If there's anything you want me to tell you, a mic might be required for people.
Yeah, now thanks Bal Reddy ji for sharing your experience. And now, as Bal Reddy ji said, okay, so if you have any questions, if you want to ask anything to Bal Reddy ji on the Kargil War, right? And then if you want to have some questions or more interaction, please, it's open forum now. Whosoever wants, just raise a hand, right? I'll pass on the mic, and then you can have interaction then.
Good evening. Sir, first of all, I would like to say that I'm very honored to meet an army person, that too from the Kargil War. And I just had a short doubt whether there was any, like, it's a very hard thing when Pakistan was above India in height. So then, was there any specific strategy used by India? Because Pakistan could see everything. So was there any specific strategy that India had to use in order to deal with this?
What's your name?
My name is Rajvardhan Jha. I'm in 7th grade.
Okay, Rajvardhan Jha. Rajvardhan, I think is capable of joining the forces with his question. Very good, Rajvardhan. So, for the benefit of other children, Rajvardhan has asked a question. Am I audible? Okay, Rajvardhan has asked a question for the benefit of other children who might not have understood. No problem, because some of you are much younger. He is saying the enemy was at height, ऊपर था और हम नीचे थे, तो हमने क्या किया और कैसे किया कि हमने उनको हराया. That is the question of Rajvardhan. Okay, so that word is called strategy. Strategy मतलब रणनीति जिसको बोलते हैं. So that is what Rajvardhan asked. So I will try to answer that question in simple terms. अगर कोई सेकेंड फ्लोर में है, आपका दोस्त सेकेंड फ्लोर में आपका दोस्त है और वहाँ से आपके ऊपर पत्थर फेंक रहा है, और थर्ड फ्लोर से है, समझो थर्ड फ्लोर से है और पत्थर फेंक रहा है आपके ऊपर नीचे, आपने गमले से पत्थर लेके फेंक रहा है नीचे, तो आप क्या करना चाहोगे? कैसे उसको आप सॉर्ट आउट करोगे विदाउट इन्वॉल्विंग पेरेंट्स? हाँ बताओ.
सर, इस केस में मुझे तो सबसे पहले
Speak like.
सर, तो मुझे सबसे पहले तो उस अटैक को डॉज तो करना पड़ेगा ही.
हाँ.
और फिर उसको सीक्रेटली अटैक करना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, कैसे करोगे?
स्टेयर से.
स्टेयरकेस से.
हाँ.
स्टेयरकेस से रीच है तो कर पाओगे. अगर स्टेयरकेस से आपको व्यू ही नहीं मिल रहा उसका अपार्टमेंट बैल्कनी का, स्टेयरकेस दूसरी जगह है और बैल्कनी दूसरी जगह है सपोज, तो मुश्किल होगा. तो आपको एक हिंट दूंगा, आपको उससे ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा.
ठीक है.
कैसे करोगे? उसके ऊपर कैसे जाओगे? उससे भी ऊपर जाना है.
उससे भी ऊपर जाना. तो
अदर्स कैन हेल्प यू. यू हैव अ टीम, नो, यू आर नॉट अलोन. तो फुटबॉल मैच में आप भी खेल रहे हो, बट साथ में भी बाकी लोग हैं. अगर आपको थोड़ा सब ब्लॉक कर रहे हैं तो आपको दूसरे को पास कर सकते हो.
सर, तो उनसे भी ऊपर जाने के लिए, तो माउंटेन से भी ऊपर जाने के लिए आपने पहले मेंशन भी किया था कि एयरफोर्स का भी इस्तेमाल होता है.
वेरी गुड.
तो ये मुझे इससे भी
आपने तो बहुत आगे का सोचा है. मैं तो अपना अपार्टमेंट का सोच रहा था.
सॉरी.
हाँ, मैं सिर्फ ये बताना चाह रहा था, अगर थर्ड फ्लोर से कोई पत्थर फेंक रहा है, आपको फोर्थ फ्लोर में जाना पड़ेगा. उसके ऊपर के अपार्टमेंट में बैल्कनी से नीचे देख के उसको पत्थर फेंकना पड़ेगा. तो नहीं, ये सब मत करना. घर में जाके सेकेंड थर्ड फ्लोर फोर्थ फ्लोर से पत्थर मत फेंकना, बिकॉज पत्थर हम नहीं फेंकते हैं, तो ये फेंकने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. बट आइडिया आया आपको. बट ये काम आर्मी जो ऊपर नहीं जा सकता है, एयरफोर्स ने मदद किया आर्मी को, बिकॉज आर्मी, एयरफोर्स और नेवी तीनों दल एक साथ है देश के लिए. तीनों देश के लिए मर मिटेंगे तीनों. तो अगर आर्मी को तकलीफ होता है तो वहाँ एयरफोर्स पहुँच जाता है. अगर एयरफोर्स को तकलीफ है वहाँ आर्मी पहुँच जाएगा. अगर दोनों को तकलीफ है तो नेवी चला जाएगा. समझ में आया? तो एरोप्लेन्स कैन गो अबव द माउंटेन्स एंड दे बॉम्ब दोज प्लेसेस एक्यूरेटली, बिकॉज ऑफ विच they could not understand what to do. That is why some aeroplanes also have been lost in some attacks, but there is always a loss. You know, चोट तो लगती है, आपको डॉज भी करना पड़ेगा ना. तो डॉज टाइम से नहीं किया तो शायद पत्थर आपको भी लग सकता है, बट आपको तो छोड़ना नहीं है, तो हमें तो लड़ना है और उनको बाहर भगाना है. तो वही स्ट्रैटेजी इस्तेमाल हुआ था. एयरफोर्स को बुला लिए थे वॉर में. सो मई फर्स्ट वीक में आर्मी को पता लग गया था कि ये पूरे इलाके टाइगर हिल से लेके मशको तक, ये सारे इलाके सब पाकिस्तान ने ऑक्यूपाई किया हुआ है. तो हमारे बस का पूरा बात नहीं है. हम तो जाके दुश्मन से लड़ सकेंगे हैंड टू हैंड, we can fight, but from distance artillery can do some work. But artillery is like those cannons or similar weapons that throw bombs far away, but they are not very accurate. So then something more had to be done, and that was done with the help of helicopters and fighter aeroplanes. And there was one particular aeroplane that turned the course of the war. That was Mirage 2000. All the aeroplanes are good, but Mirage 2000 did something very specific. It did something called laser guided bombing. It did that, and that turned the war very fast. मतलब 6 महीने में खत्म होने वाला 2 महीने में खत्म हो गया था. इनफैक्ट जैसे मिराजेस ने बॉम्बिंग चालू किया ऊपर हाइट से, एक्यूरेटली, बहुत एक्यूरेटली, बिकॉज ढलान माउंटेन्स में ऐसे होती है कि आपको मिस हुआ तो बहुत मिस हो जाएगा. तो अगर फ्लैट में अगर आपने ऐसे कंचा मारा है आप, तो आपको लगने का चांस रहता है, बट अगर स्लोप है आपका थोड़ा सा मिस भी हुआ तो बहुत मिस हो जाता है ऑन ग्राउंड. सो इस वजह से accurate bombing was required, and that was done with the help of a specific weapon, and that was called the laser guided bomb, which did the job back then. And that aided the army to now do what? To keep getting closer to the enemy. And then once Indian army is the most, you can say, brave army in the world, because हम डरते नहीं है किसी से भी ज़रूरत पड़ने से. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि कोई शांत बैठा है उसके साथ जाके लड़ेंगे, वो नहीं है. अपना सोच और अपना काम ऐसा है भारतीय सेना का, वायु सेना का भी और नौसेना का भी. ओके, गुड जॉब.
Anyone else?
So very good evening. I'm proud to say that my brother is also colonel. He's working for Indian Army. He is presently commanding officer.
Okay.
And I just wanted to ask if at all, my brother was also deployed in India-China border recently because of the issues going on. So what is the advice to the parents who are thinking to send their kids towards, directing the kids towards the defense services? And also, what advice you give to the families to cope up with the pressures when their children or their siblings are posted at the borders? It's too apprehensive.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try to answer that in 2 parts. For the first part, I'll tell a short story. Okay, children will understand this story. And I'm from a big family, so I will tell a family story. Okay, there was once a village where there was a mother, a widow. Widow means father, her husband is no more, and she had 4 sons. All of you know, anyone knows this story? 4 sons, mother and 4 sons. Okay, I will tell. So then this is long ago, like maybe 1,000 years ago, times when there were kingdoms and people were living peacefully, but required there is a war, they will fight the war. It was like that. So this mother sent her eldest son to join the army. Eldest son goes and joins the army, and that kingdom has a war with the neighboring kingdom. For some problem, there is a war. Now the war is going on, and the eldest son dies in the war. And his body is brought back to that village where this old woman, mother, lives. Brought back, and they do the last rites. Last rites are done. Kids below 10-12 years might not understand what I am saying, but don't worry. So then the last rites are done, and then the mother sends the second son to join the army. So the villagers are already talking about it, that Arey, you just lost a son, why are you sending another son? She says, no, from every family, if one son does not go, then who will protect this kingdom? That mother says. So सारे चुप हो जाते हैं, गाँव वाले, पंच, बाकी लोग सब चुप हो जाते हैं. So then that second son also goes. The battle continues. He also dies. Second son also dies. Then his body is also brought back, and then the mother does the last rites for that son also. And then now the villagers are saying, देखो हमने बोला था, पहले तो एक को भेजा था, वो तो मर गया युद्ध में, अभी ये दूसरे को भेजा है, वो भी मर गया है, युद्ध में वो भी मर गया है. Because sometimes calamity, wars are like that. You lose good people, bad people. Because unless that war does not happen, there is no protection guaranteed for this larger community, whether it is a nation or a kingdom, whatever it is. So the mother now decides to send the third one. The whole village starts saying, ये बुड्ढी पागल हो गई है, दो बेटे को खो दिया है, अभी तीसरे को भेज रही है, और रोती भी नहीं है. एक मर गया है, ठीक है, दूसरा भी गया है, अभी तीसरे को भेज रही है. और लास्ट रहे जो अंतक्रिया करते हैं उसमें रोती भी नहीं है, तो तीसरे को भेजे हैं. तो तीसरा भी अनफॉर्चुनेटली मर गया था, तो उसका भी बॉडी वापस आया, उसका भी लास्ट राइट्स हुआ. अभी तो गांव वाले सारे इसको डिक्लेयर कर दिए थे कि ये पागल है, इसको रोक दो, अभी चौथे को भेजो ही नहीं. बट शी वोंट लिसन. शी सेंड्स हर फोर्थ सन ऑल्सो. द ओल्ड वुमन sends her fourth son, and she's old, she needs help and support, but she says no, my son will go to the war. So she makes him also join the army, the fourth son. The fourth son goes, he also comes back dead, unfortunately. Fourth son also dies, and last rites done. Everything is over, the village is all very gloomy, and they are all saying a lot of things to the old woman that she's lost her mind. And after everything is over, she starts crying. She is crying now. So village says, what's wrong with you? When you had sons alive, you never cried. And first वाला गया, तुमने रोया नहीं, दूसरा गया, रोया नहीं, तीसरा गया, रोया नहीं, चौथा भी अभी गया है, अब तुम रो रही हो, क्या फायदा, कोई बचा ही नहीं है, तो क्यों रो रही हो तुम करके पूछते हैं, क्यों रो रहे हो? तो the old mother says, I don't have another son to send, and that is why I am crying, she says. So that is the kind of spirit I think Indians should have, and that doesn't mean we will lose all sons by sending them to war. When I wanted to join the Air Force, my parents did not want me to join, it's a fact, but I joined because I wanted to fly fighter planes. So that was my dream. I went and joined against their wish. But I am alive in front of you. So that doesn't mean that everyone who goes will die, and everyone who goes there will come back alive. There are people who are dying on the roads in India. There are people who are dying at age of 30 and 40 for some stupid health issue. So I think dying for the nation is a great thing and a bigger honor. So I think we should not be worried about death when we have some amongst us who want to join the forces to serve the nation, without whom all of us, our survival is in question. So that is the first part. So coming to the advice for the second part, I will say that armed forces do not need brilliant minds. Let the brilliant minds work in the larger interest of the nation, humanity. If they have the interest to join the forces, we must not stop them. But all that the armed forces need is motivated, committed, and kids who understand all the subjects decently well. Academic in schools, and they have the passion to serve the nation, and they want to wear a uniform, whether it is for army or the air force or the navy, and serve the motherland. I don't want to say anything more, but it is the best job. All of you who are complaining about reservations, there is no reservation in the armed forces. How many of you didn't know about this can raise their hands? I want to know. How many of you don't know there is no reservation in the armed forces? So that means that is one department, one field where the nation knows the best have to go to serve the nation. Okay? So there is no reservation. All of you who are sitting here don't have to be worried about how hard will I have to study and work, and will my merit not still be counted because somebody else takes away the seat. No, you just perform, whether it is a written exam or the selection board or the medical. If you are decently fit, if you are unfit, for any reason, then it is better that you do other things, because what is needed is fit men and women who can serve the nation. But it's a very, very honorable job, not just from the uniform and how the nation treats, but how you make of yourself. I can share one small thing here. When I was 17 years old, when I joined engineering, parallelly my selection for National Defence Academy also was happening. My written exam, then my selection board, my medical also was happening. But I very well remember that time when I could not speak in public. I could not stand up in front of even 20, 50 people. All I can do is just gossip with my classmates and friends, and probably meaninglessly, and have fun, and maybe within family members. If I see a stranger, I cannot talk, I cannot stand in front of people, and I was very unsure about lot of things. And what I am today is because of the armed forces. So I am sure everyone has their own ways of finding their own selves through their own jobs. Lot of people, I am sure, are making themselves in their own ways. But armed forces actually make men out of boys, and I think women out of girls. This is what armed forces do, and they do it very well in the shortest possible time, because the training is like that, and the ethos, the camaraderie, and the work. I will tell you, even somebody who does not thought much about a nation and motherland and life for the country, when he joins the armed forces, he is willing to give the highest balidan, that is his own life. And how does that happen is not just because of the motherland, but with the people he is working with. It is like when the soldier there is working with other soldier friends, his Pulton mates, his company, similarly his squadron mates and his ship mates, his submarine mates that is working. For them, they are willing to give their life for them, because they want to stand in between the enemy and their friend, to give their life if required. So that kind of a selfless, I think, sacrifice, armed forces do it to you. So that is what happens, and after that everything else starts looking. Yes, one thing that really hurts those people is when they come out of the forces, the material world hurts a little bit, but if they are able to balance that, I think life post armed forces is also great. So the ones who have not thought about joining forces, I think must give it a shot, try, go there, enjoy the selection board, enjoy the time, little exposure that they might get. Even if somebody is not lucky like you, whose brother is in the army, even others who do not have brothers, sisters, they can go and check it out, and I think you will not regret. That is one thing I can say. I have not heard anybody who's joined army, navy and air force come out and complain that why did I join. People have come and joined commercial aviation and they've said, why did I join this place? But I have not seen that happen with people joining armed forces. Armed forces have different cadres. There's an officer cadre, there is a below officers, and there is a non-combatants also. So depending upon your, you can say, ability, depending upon your mental level, aptitude, you must aim for that and get that done. Go there, enjoy. It's very adventurous. You will see the whole nation. They will not be a part of the country you wouldn't be exposed to. Yeah, I will not say that being in IT you can go to America, but you might go from armed forces, but not like the IT people. But then you will be so sure about your nation that every state, you know something about that state, you will know about the entire borders, you will feel very much home wherever in the country you go to, anywhere, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat to Dibrugarh, Tinsukia, any part of the country, you just feel it is your home. You don't have any problems being in Tamil Nadu or Kerala or Madhya Pradesh or Manipur or Himachal. You will have no problem. So if you want your children and children also themselves, you want to see the country and serve your nation, there is no better place than armed forces. So give it your best so So that is my advice. Don't stop people who want to join, motivate them. Don't even let them feel they are medically not fit. Let the forces decide whether they are fit or not. Let them go and give it a try. That's all.
Sir, does there is a training for armed forces? My name is Krishna Pratik. I am studying for 5th class.
Krishna, say your question again. That is.
So does we have any training for armed forces?
Okay.
What is the training?
Okay, see he asked whether there is training for armed forces. That means before joining forces, is there a place where I can get trained is the question. Okay, good. So armed forces do not need any prior training. They don't need any prior training. All that they do is they conduct, the first exam is a written exam depending on the age. The first exam to join forces is 12th class. 12th class. So, but till 12th class, when you finish before you finish your 12th, you should have some grip on all your subjects. You cannot be very weak in all your subjects because you have to compete to write that exam. While there is no reservation, all the subjects you have to like. Because whichever subject you don't like, no, so that place you will not get good marks and you will lose some marks. So I can tell you a good example. A good example is, you have all your subjects, maths, science, social science, English, then other language, maybe Hindi or any other language. All these subjects like your border, your boundary, okay. And if you are weak in any one subject, your enemy will come from there only. Your enemy will attack you from there only. So if love, first like and then love all your subjects. You don't have to you should not want to become first in the class, not required, but you have to learn the subject, understand the subject. If you are not understanding, ask your teacher, ask your parents and learn, read that topic. There are enough resources available today. So if you do that well, you don't need any training, because you can be a weakling like I was when I was 17 years old. Army can make you very strong, but you should have you should feel like you want to play, you want to run, you should have that energy to want to run, want to play. If you are somebody who is only a bookworm and does not want to play, does not want to run, nothing, then army is not the place for you. Okay, then you remain with your books. I will not suggest those kids. I will only tell, keep your books aside for some time every day, go and play, go and cycle, go and run. Okay, every day, whether you join army or not does not matter, but you have to become strong, no? So you should be that, and then you don't need any prior training. Otherwise, there is another route for the people to join armed forces, and that route is through the Sainik schools, through the military schools, and through the Rashtriya Indian Military College. There are three, parallel lines. Every state has a school called a Sainik school. Normally, if I remember right, I think the Sainik schools start in 5th grade. I'm not sure about it, but there was a time when there was a plan to even start at 3rd grade. I'm not sure, depending on the states. But 5th grade is a time when schools start for kids' indoctrination into armed forces through this medium called Sainik school. Every state has a school, but there are limited seats. There is no reservation. So your child has to write the exam for that Sainik school. Now you Google it, you will get the answers. So Sainik school is one very broad, you can say, entry, where the kids getting into Sainik school at least have their registrar or somebody in the school who's from the army. So they have some exposure and somebody giving them some ideas and stuff, and kids are oriented. But today, increasingly, people who are going to Sainik school also have options at the end of their 12th class. But chances of getting into the probability of joining armed forces improve by joining Sainik school. And the next set of schools are 5 schools called military schools. In 5 regions of India, there are 5 military schools. So military schools again start, I think, 5th grade only, military schools. There is again an entrance exam for that. So there are a lot of kids taking this exam every year. Once in 6 months, I think these exams happen, probably, these exams. And then you have these 5 military schools I told you. What do these sainik schools, military schools do? They are just helping the children. Apart from academics and lot of games and sports, hostel living is important. You'll have to leave your kids to hostels. But I can tell you, a lot of mothers are more attached than the kids are to their mothers today. So I think let go of the kids and they will be happy in hostels. They will get used to. So don't be in that state of mind that नहीं छोड़ना नहीं है, बच्चों को पकड़ के रखना है. इतना पकड़ के रखोगे तो भाग जाएगा तो फिर कभी आएगा ही नहीं है. So that is the problem. Let them go. They will learn themselves. They will understand life. And I've been in hostels from 7th grade, and probably amongst all my 5 siblings, I feel more attached to my parents. Though I've been in the forces, and from 2007 onwards, though I was in the forces then, I made sure I was the youngest, but my parents were living with me. I made sure of that. And though I lost my dad about 5 years ago, but I continue to live with my mother. And I'm willing to fight with all my siblings to make sure my mother continues to live with me. She can visit them, but I will not let her go from me. So it is not necessary that if you send your child, oh pata nahi fir kya ho jayega and all that. These are very safe schools. Kids are very well taken care of. You can even visit those schools. And I feel these schools are even more appropriate for the lesser privileged families and children. I feel, this is my personal opinion, don't get me wrong, don't quote me, I feel. Because if you people want to give them all the resources and all the benefits of the modernization, do that. But 12th is the first time they get a chance to join National Defence Academy. After that, when they finish graduation, they have another entry called the Combined Defence Service Exam, or CAT or AFCAT. There are a couple of other exams you can Google, you will know. So entry after 12th, entry after graduation. This I am talking for officer cadre, the top cadre. There is a second cadre called the Agniveers now, and that's also a good job, a short service they have, and those children don't have to be brilliant in academics, but still can serve the nation, and they will come back with a lot of experience and self-development to continue to serve themselves, their family and the nation. So options are plenty. So prior training is not required. What you asked, no real training is required. You just need that focus that I want to join.
Sir, my name is K.S.R.K. Murthy. I worked as a chief officer in Navy from 1990 to 2010. I have some experience. I had some experience with this war. I once sent to Gorkonda Sainik School in Vijayanagara district, Andhra. Then one of my PA staff, I did not know his rank, maybe Havaldar or sailor. What is your rank, sir?
I retired as a wing commander. Yes.
Commanding. I chief officer.
మూర్తి గారు మీకు మాట్లాడేది ఉంటే మనము ఈవెంట్ అయిపోయాక కూర్చుందాము. క్వశ్చన్ ఉంటే అడగండి అందరికీ.
Small kid also he said, then he went to the war and they simply shut them to call upon for talks only. But the next moment they started firing. He also in the night he can't see anything. They also opened the fire. And one bullet went some of it place. Then his thigh is crushed. They removed and they added there. After a long time, he came back and he saw his thigh damaged.
Question, sir. Question.
No question, nothing.
Okay.
I wanted to know his rank. He said,
Okay.
పర్లేదు తెలుగులో కూడా మాట్లాడవచ్చు, నాకు తెలుగు వస్తుంది. ఇంగ్లీష్ పర్లేదు. So he's sharing his personal experience of the time, the closest he came to dealing with someone, that family that lost a child in the Kargil. Man, okay, the okay.
Yeah. Thanks, uncle, for sharing. Have a seat, please. Yeah.
కూర్చోండి.
Thank you for have a seat, please. Maybe we'll have a couple of more questions because we started with bit delay, and since we have kids here, I'm not sure how much they can put the attention here. So, in the interest of time, maybe a couple of more questions or interaction.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. I have a question. My name is Adyan Tripathi. I'm 5th grade. I'm not part of Ramky Cosmos, but I just came to visit. So, sir, were you from Hindustan Aeronautics Limited? Did you work in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited?
Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. What is the question about it? HAL?
आप क्या हिंदुस्तान एरोनॉटिक्स लिमिटेड में ज्वाइन हुए थे क्या?
Okay, बताता हूँ. Better. Good. So Hindustan. Okay, ask the question.
And even if you were in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, what did you do there?
Okay, fine. Okay, here the question is whether I worked in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So, what is your name? Adarsh Tripathi? Adyant Tripathi. So, Adyant has some exposure to Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So, HAL is one organization in this country that is doing great work. They have been manufacturing parts, manufacturing aeroplanes also. They are servicing aeroplanes, initially of the Russian origin, and now they are doing a good work all over. So, my association was with Indian Air Force, Adyant, Indian Air Force or Vayu Sena, Bharatiya Vayu Sena. But I have visited HAL premises time to time, basically to either pick up an aeroplane or hand over an aeroplane for servicing. Okay. So, I did not work in the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, but I know HAL little closely. Okay. Okay. I served Indian Air Force. So while working in the Indian Air Force, I used to visit HAL and either take an aeroplane or give an aeroplane for servicing. Because plane का भी सर्विसिंग होता है ना, कार का पापा लेके जाते हैं सर्विस सेंटर, तो वैसे वायुसेना में भी जहाज ले जाके सर्विसिंग के लिए देना पड़ता है. वाइल छोटा काम बड़ा काम सब होता है, बट बहुत बड़ा काम होता है तो ले जाके HAL को देना होता है. तो HAL वो काम करता है 5 साल में एक बार ऐसे, तो वो काम कराने HAL जाता था मैं बस. अदरवाइज आई डिड नॉट वर्क इनसाइड HAL. ओके.
Good evening, sir. Namaste. Sir, I am a father of twin daughters, and although now I see that women have started joining forces, but a little bit more detail as you just mentioned about military schools and all. So for my daughters, let's say if I am looking for some options in forces, what are our options?
Okay. Okay, great, and congrats for having twins. Twins, you said, twin girls. Okay, good. So the question is understood. What are the options for girls today? So last I think 2-3 years ago, the entry was opened for National Defence Academy, and that was the first entry for women. Earlier women were there in the forces, but they were in supporting arms like medical, then engineering, then maybe EME, then signals, and couple of supporting arms where there is no direct confrontation with the enemy. Probably those, and even in the Air Force, there was women's entry to become pilots after graduation, not before graduation. So women were entering armed forces earlier. I have known, I think the first batch joined armed forces maybe early 90s. A lot of people don't know this. Women have been in the forces since early 90s. There have been women pilots who have served the Air Force, but not fighter pilots till recently. But the entry that has come up in the news, which has caught everyone's attention, is National Defence Academy. NDA was always for boys. NDA, 17 to 18 and a half years old, candidates could join National Defence Academy at Pune in Kadakwasla, but that place has opened for girls now, and that is I think a great achievement, because what everyone thought, okay, how can NDA be managed for girls? NDA has proved it now, and I think in next year or two the first batch also will graduate out of National Defence Academy. It is, I can say, the best training institute for armed forces. So if there are young girls who want adventure, serve the nation, and also become very confident individuals, I can say better than all the models in the world, whatever they call it, this Femina Miss Indias and Miss Worlds, better than all of them the girls will become if they join a place like National Defence Academy, and I can take the guarantee for that. So NDA is a great place. So that is the first entry. After that graduation, you have a lot of places now, OTA, IMA, lot of places are for graduation. But someone right at the beginning, and a very leading institution in the country where people from all the three services come together. No other institute at that level is there like that in India. So that is why National Defence Academy is very well known in the forces, amongst the Army, Navy, Air Force circles, as the top institute for training. They train there for 3 years. Now they might even give them, I think, we used to get BSc and BA, but I think now they will start getting engineering or something like that, something better. But JNU gives the degrees. JNU gives the degrees, autonomous institution under JNU. So that is a great place to send your girls, and they will be very safe there. I know that place personally, so I have been there, so that is why I am saying. And after that there are a lot of entries for women, but women in armed forces are joining primarily as officers. Then you have something called MNS for someone who is interested in nursing. They can join as nurses also, a lot of women in nursing services also. So that is about it.
We'll take one last question. Okay, you can have interaction later, but just to conclude the program, we'll proceed with that.
Sir, you mentioned, my name is Vyom. It's nice to meet you in person. So my doubt was that when you explained about the Kargil War, you said that Siachen was the highest battlefield in the world. Sir, so what makes it a battlefield? Isn't it a mountain? So the tallest mountain is Mount Everest. So doesn't that make Mount Everest as a battlefield too?
A very logical question, because a child thinks like that. There is Mount Everest that is taller than any other mountain in the world, so why can't that be the battlefield? But there is nobody there to fight Dhruv over Mount Everest. So Mount Everest is in Nepal, and nobody is claiming that mountain. Nepal's land, Nepalis visit, a lot of mountaineers climb up and come down. There is no fight there. Fight happens when two people want the same thing. So that is when a fight happens. And in a place like Siachen, that is high ground there, in between some mountains is a flat land. That is why it is called a glacier. So in that area, if you can see a lot, that like you are on the 20th floor of your apartment building, something like that. So that place, Pakistan also wants, India also wants, but it is in India, so Indians are sitting there. Now because Indians are on top of that glacier, on top of that Siachen area, we have to remain there. If we move out, then Pakistanis might come up there, because they have no rules, they have no dharma. So we have to continue to protect that place. So we are there, and that is why it is a battlefield. Two people want the same place. This is a battle. If you are playing football, in your ground. There's a futsal ground here. There's a ground, football ground here. So in the football ground, there is one team and one ball. There is no fight, no. What will you do in such a game? So it's not a battlefield there. Unless there is an opponent and one ball, then there is a fight. So that fight is happening in Siachen. That is why it is, and it is the highest altitude in the world where such battle is happening. That is why it's highest battlefield. Okay.
Sir, one question, last question. Do we have any connection between China and Pakistan now? Like we are fighting that Kargil Pakistan and POK. We are trying to like we are making our stand to China, right? They should not make that war with that road. Do they have a connection now? Actually, I don't think they have a connection. But why is it happening now? Actually, anything they are doing in those?
Okay. What is concerning Kashmir? I will talk about that. We discussed earlier the northeastern corner. The right top corner is with China. The left top corner is with Pakistan. So, but there is a congruent land. There is a congruent land which Pakistan has, you can say, acceded to China, like lease. It has given some land, and that makes China access not just Pakistan through the CPEC, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, going through Gilgit-Baltistan area into Pakistan and towards Gwadar. So there, why we are opposing the BRI, the Chinese road network, is because of things like this only. They not, China is not respecting the sovereignty of our country in Kashmir. It is our land, and they are making a road through POK. How will we permit it? So that road is there, and parts of POK, that is Gilgit-Baltistan area, have been acceded to China apart from Aksai Chin. So there is now a contact between China, Pakistan very closely in Kashmir area.
So any war happens, China can help with Pakistan anytime. That's what I think.
But China, it's a very, I think it's a big debate. We don't know how will things play out in the world, international relationships, and how will, because when Kargil happened, China didn't help Pakistan. It can support in the background, but it cannot come in the front. So similar things will happen. We can't expect, but we never know. Like what is happening in Ukraine, similarly. So it's a big debate. We do not know. When things happen, they happen. And I'm sure India will do the best, irrespective of who's in government.
Okay, thank you. I think I would take it as the last question. I mean, it's already there. Thanks for a wonderful interaction. And now we'll moving to second part of.
But माहौल वो नहीं है अभी. This माहौल is fun and it will be very emotional, so it's not good. We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, so thanks for this wonderful interaction. Thanks, Balaji, for sharing all your experiences. And definitely you have reminded us for the on the determination, bravery of our Jawans, right, our soldiers who are doing their duty on the borders and keeping us safe. We are proud of not only them, but also their families. As I said that we are moving to the second and last part of this event. As this event is hosted in the association of Samvit Kendra, I would request Sri Ayush ji to come here and talk about Samvit Kendra. Okay, Ayush ji is the General Secretary of Samvit Kendra, and also he is the CEO of Adriatic Engineering Solutions, also Head of Media Relations of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh of Telangana, Andhra and Karnataka. Ayush ji, I will hand over this mic to you and share a few words.
Actually, this is unexpected, so thank you all for coming here and sharing time. And it's always a great pleasure to hear Bal Reddy ji. I mean, he gives an overview of the entire battle of the Kargil War, but yet appears to be so accessible. So that is his speciality. So we are fortunate in Samvit Kendra also, he is an executive office bearer with us. So just to give you an idea about what Samvit Kendra is and how you can contribute to it. This is a research center. It was started about 9 years back with the intention of looking into 5 areas from the Bharatiya outlook. So one is education. So we have worked on the national education policy from our side, what can go into it. The second is on generally about society, new developments that are happening, including the issues that are coming up with, let's say, AI today, issues related to same-sex marriage. We had a debate on that. Uniform civil code, what are the issues related to that? How it will affect different sections of society. So that is on society, we run, there is a particular vertical for that. There is a vertical around culture in which people can also participate. That is another area where you can participate. Then polity and economics, there are 2 separate segments. So these are 5 verticals on which we work on. So people who are interested to contribute in terms of in any of these verticals you want to work, you have some articles to write about those subjects, you have certain insights on it, or you can translate material from different languages into English or vice versa also, English to Hindi, English to Telugu. So that kind of skills are also required. There are also people whom we require who can do small video edits from a large video, let's say today's video. If you see this about 1.5 hours, if we cover about an hour plus, then there are certain segments in that where we need certain editing to be done. So certain skills of that nature are also required. Also, people who can speak on such subjects on campuses. For example, Bal Reddy ji has spoken on many campuses on the Kargil War. But there are other subjects also that are very relevant, related to national security, related to other aspects that I spoke about, where if you feel that you can speak on those subjects as a speaker on campus, that way also we can align. And then we have a network of institutions where we organize such programs. There are certain colleges which organize programs on Swami Vivekananda Jayanti, on Hyderabad Liberation Day, September 17th. Those kind of events also we need speakers who can contribute also. So any of these skills or more, you think there is something else that you can contribute in terms of building a nationalist or a Bharatiya outlook towards issues, you're welcome, and please do participate with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayushji.
Namaste. I want to sing a song for the Indian armies. तलवारों पे सर वार दिए अंगारों में जिसमें जलाया है, तब जाके कही हमने सर पे हे केसरी रंग सजाया है मेरी जमीन अफसोस नहीं जो तेरे लिए सा दर्द से महफूज रहे, तेरी आन सदाए जान जान मेरी रहे न रहे। ओ मेरी ज़मीन महफूज मेरी नस नस पे तेरा इश्क बहे, फीका न पड़े कोई रंग बहा जिस मुँह से निकल के खून कहे। ओ तेरी मिट्टी में मिल जावा गुल बन के मैं खिल जावा, इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू। तेरी नदियों में बह जावा तेरे खेतों पे लहरावा, इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू। वाह 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 वाह। जय हिंद।
Ayushi. Uh,
So, on behalf of Ramky One Kosmos, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Samvit Kendra, our honored chief guest Sri Bal Reddy Sarji. I would also like to thank the association, society, and all the staff working here for the arrangement and organizing this event, which is truly inspiring one. I would also like to express my gratitude to friends and families from the neighboring society. A lot of us, you may see that, who came from the neighboring society and also participated in the event. Um, we look forward for hosting such event in future also. And thanks again. Jai Hind.
Maybe conclusive remark from you, Devenji.
So, as we are concluding this event, so let us remember the sacrifice made by our soldiers, their families. Let us honor them by continuing to work towards a peaceful and the prosperous India. Let us also remember that the responsibility of safeguarding our nation's security lies which with each one of us. On behalf of Ramky One Kosmos and neighboring society, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all respected guests and each one of you present here for making this event memorable. Let us continue to work together towards better tomorrow. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Okay, we'll conclude this program with the national anthem. So let's start. Please stand up, right? Okay, let's start with the national anthem now. Jana Gana Mana Adhinaya